A convicted felon accused of robbing at least 4 banks is back on the run. Here's Alexa Ashwell with Maryland's Most Wanted.
58-year-old William Carl Miller spent the past decade in federal prison. Just 2 months ago, he was released, granted the opportunity to serve out the remainder of his sentence in transitional housing. But just 8 weeks later, investigators say he walked away and hasn't been seen since. December 2023, East Baltimore. 3-time convicted bank robber William Carl Miller is serving the rest of his federal prison sentence at Volunteers of America, a residential reentry center.
When you go through a halfway house, it's to transition back to the community. So you're finishing your federal sentence and then going somewhere where you can work, get treatment.
But on December 8th, 2 months after arriving to the center, Miller, investigators say, disappears.
He walked away.
Miller, labeled by investigators a serial bank robber. The US Marshals Service taking us back. August 2013, Western Maryland's small town of LaVale. Investigators say Miller walked into the then Susquehanna Bank armed with a gun and duffel bag and demanded cash.
And he orders the tellers to surrender their funds.
Miller, successful. Then, in a bold move, returns to the very same bank just days later, this time with a female accomplice and an interesting M.O.
I guess they had some sort of plan about not to get caught by doing super glue on their fingertips so they wouldn't leave fingerprints.
But investigators say Miller's luck had run out.
There was numerous dye packs, and they exploded once he left the bank, covering them all with the paint and the car, the vehicle that they were running away in.
$20,000 in cash tainted. The chase ends with both Miller and the woman in custody more than 10 years after investigators say he committed his first bank robbery. That was not only his first or second, but third bank robbery.
Correct. He committed bank robbery in 1991 and again in 1996. And then this was 2013 with 2 bank robberies. The cases were adopted by the FBI, and then the case went federal.
The following year, Miller entered into a plea deal and was sentenced to 12.5 years in federal prison with credit for time served. Fast forward more than a decade. Investigators say Miller enters the halfway house only to escape 2 months later.
He knows that he's wanted, so he may be desperate and looking for people to hide him and doesn't have the ability to earn a typical wage from a job, so he's going to have to do something to get money.
Investigators fear Miller may strike again, specifically targeting banks, and stress he must be taken off the streets.
There's a likelihood if he turns back to crime, that's what he's going to do next.
Investigators say Miller is likely homeless. Again, last seen here in Baltimore, possibly traveling back towards Western Maryland. So take a good look. He's described as standing at approximately 5'10" and weighing 135 pounds. Investigators say he may or may not still have this beard. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the US Marshals Service. The tip line number, 1-877-WANTED-2. Or you can contact agents directly at 202-819-5058. Update. Fugitive Vincent Davis has been captured. Just 1 day after appearing on Maryland's Most Wanted, investigators say a viewer contacted Baltimore police and led agents to a home where Davis had been hiding out in West Baltimore's Coppin Heights community. Davis had been on the run since the pandemic. That's when investigators say he cut off his ankle monitor while on pretrial release. Davis is facing federal drug trafficking charges. Back in 2020, he was one of 29 defendants named in a federal indictment. Investigators allege the group sold deadly drugs, including fentanyl and crack cocaine, in the Penn North community. Davis, ironically, arrested just a mile from where he's accused of participating in the drug trafficking operation.
This is an individual who's thumbed his nose up at the law. He cut off his bracelet, absconded from supervision, and he is allegedly continuing to participate in drug trafficking.
If you recognize any of our fugitives, remember, you can always remain anonymous, and you could earn a reward. I'm Alexa Ashwell, and this is Maryland's Most Wanted.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.